This is Sandra Embleton speaking to Sandra Embleton. And I just lit a candle honoring God's presence and God's holy presence. Mother, Father, God, bring your holy presence into this place. Bring in the light, the love of Christ Jesus, divine Holy Spirit, and the Spirit of truth, and dwell within. And we honor God, and we want to thank God today. We want to thank Mother, Father, God for November 11, the 11th day, the 11th number, the master day, the master number, 2022, the numbers of the Holy Grail and the Christ, 22 for the Grail and 222 for the Christ, bringing up to 5 twos. And I guess there is something to this master portal, master 1111 portal, and there must be some amazing energies that have come in this past week with the blood moon, the lunar eclipse. And I could feel it starting last Sunday when the energy started to come in. Last Sunday, I couldn't do anything. It was like, oh, I'm sitting here going, what's wrong with me? Why can't I move or do anything? It's like I feel so useless. Oh my God, I just was like, ugh, all day. So it was a big week, lots of energies coming in me. I was on the lawn grounding quite a bit, pushing the energy through my body and into the earth. Getting rid of as much of the energies that we've been here to bring through our bodies and ground into the earth. So I'm doing my part doing that. But I really didn't know for sure if my collaboration with Spirit, Mother, Father, God, and their Son, the Christ energy, when we had our adventure and it was documented, it was a culmination of events that had transpired during that year period. And then the subsequent fallout of those actions and meanings that were going on that I had no idea of what was really going on until the energy and the meaning came afterwards. And so having had this knowledge and this experience, 2014, 15, and then waiting, like recording it and writing the 4th and 5th book, Mr. and Mrs. Jesus, it's like sitting on a powder keg. It's like knowing you've got something that's going to create a blast, it's a truth bomb, and you're sitting on this powder keg, and you're knowing that the information inside is powerful because it contains the twin flame experience, but also it is the reintroduction of the Christ in physical form in a body. It reintroduces that, and it reintroduces the theme of that we're not from here, we're all from other galaxies, and that when this adventure began, my light shone such that it was noticed and seen by someone who is from the same monad as me, someone who had the same light as me, and they found me, and that subsequent founding led to the twin flame union and led to the creating of the love energies for the planet. And so to have that written and recorded, and then being guided as to what the title, first I thought it was The Claim, and when you open it up it says The Claim by Sandra Embleton, and I left it because that's what I was debating on, whether entitling it The Claim or Mr. and Mrs. Jesus, and I was toying with the two. And then when the claim, someone said, I don't know why, but it swayed me. Someone said, when you're making a claim, you're really saying, oh, what was there? It was like you're saying, please believe me. And I wasn't really worried about whether people would believe me. I was more concerned with accurately recording the truth of what happened, and representing it. So in in such a way that when you're reading the journal documentary of really the story of Mr. and Mrs. Jesus, when you're reading it, it it's an unfoldment. It's like I'm sharing it with you as I received it, as it unfolded to me. I unfold it to you in the storyline. And then having it reviewed by a recognized authority figure, a university professor from a local Ontario university, who read the book in 4 hours, and couldn't put it down, and said it was the most incredible book she'd ever read. She'd never read anything like it in her life. She'd already passed it on. And she said, I just can't get over what I just read. And so having that endorsement gave me the confidence to, look, this book's going to do well. It's just, when am I to release it? When is it? When can it be heard? When is it safe for me to release this? When is the time? And something inside of me, since, it was written in 2016, it's like, is this the year? And I kept telling people, I'm going to release my book. Could be this year, could be next. Really, the truth was, I didn't know. I didn't know when it was going to be released. I thought I could control it and put it together and have it out, if I just could put my mind to it. But that had nothing to do with it. I wasn't in control of its release. I wasn't in control of that story being made available to everyone. And as the last few days, it's like this month, I even went back to the end of September, where I didn't stay up north anymore. My friend and I was talking to a publisher, and she said, maybe we agreed maybe I should just go home and work on getting this book out and see what happens, see who's brought to me, see how it happens. And really, I kept vigilant, like October, the end of September, October, and even into November. It's like, is this to be done? Am I to, I just have to call Amazon and fix up my account and straighten out a few things before it's published. And it was at me, do I do it today? No. Do I do it today? No. Do I do it? No. And then Thursday morning, I found myself doing it. And I had spent, an hour and a half on the phone making sure that everything was in order, and we submitted it, and it was to wait for 72 hours for approval, but something inside me knew it would come through. The approval would be today. I knew it would be, because it's November 11, and 2022. This is a big day. Like, I've known something big was going to drop in 2022. It had to be this year. I knew it. I felt it. But as the months ticked by and things went on, I'm going, is this thing ever going to... Well, no, I just knew it was going to be released, but I felt it was imminent. I didn't know the day. And then with all these energies came in, there must have been enough energy that came through to be able to lift my frequency so that I could hear clearly the guidance I was receiving and act upon it. And it all worked out. Like, got her fixed. And then I knew today, without any fanfare or hoopla or making a big ordeal over the book's availability or launch, I forgo all that, because I want to see what universe does with it. I want to see how it's handled. I want to watch the progress of its growth, and I want to trust in that process. And I am. And I'm saying, if there's any accolades to be given to me, was having the courage to write it down as it happened, to reveal myself in such a way that I displayed my love and obedience for God, and that love and obedience for God is not to be misconstrued as anything other than holy or miraculous. And I knew that, and I knew it was right, because there was no guilt, there was no aftermath, there was no, it was because of my love for God, I'm going to do this. But as a galactic, it's like, you're here to do this. This is your mission. Your mission is to be the God mirror for the Christ energy when it shows up. You're to be the love of God to that mirror, and that's your job. And so I'm taking that job very seriously. As the Grail, it's been my job to love all those souls that God is working through to help mankind, and that feminine mirror which is required for the whole soul to move into the oneness with God, the state of Israel. And in that oneness, the three become one, and the world's actions and your participation in the world is now governed by God. And so you surrender, and you say, okay, I'm going to go on this ride. No matter where it takes me, no matter how somebody judges me, I'm going to go on this ride, and I'm going to have a great adventure. And I would hope everybody would do the same, because we're all going to be called to our own adventure, our own good adventure. And if I speak to my heart, in which I wish to do, I would like to thank my higher self and my inner child, and that loving faith I have in God, Mother, Father, God, that guided me. It's a combination of all those things that accumulated into the presentation of the book Mr. and Mrs. Jesus, for the sole purpose of lifting the planetary frequency. The official hope of the world. I was guided and told that. The official hope of the world. I was told that in the 90s, when I had that energy on me, 94, I think, 3-4. And all the seeds planted that my future self planted for me to be alerted to, it's gathering those seeds, those puzzle pieces, and sitting back and trying to put them together to make sense of what's going on. And then having the faith that you are led to participate in Creator Source's plan that we all agreed on before we came here to carry out. It's being in alignment with your course, with following what you're here to do, and not worrying what other people are here to do, because they're here to do it, and they're going to adhere to that and not going to stop till they do it. Like, you have a purpose, so you stay true to it until it's done. And my purpose was to tell that story. And because it's important for everybody to know. And why it's so important for everyone to know is that it has to happen in a way that it's real. It has to happen, the return of those individuals that have been in history, that are now coming together, because all timelines are coming together, and these beings are going to reveal themselves and who their soul has been, and it is in eternity, and who they really are, and what they're back here to contribute that same gift, that same energy, that same task. They're here to perform it. And as our consciousness lifts and we start knowing our own past lives, we're going to know other people and where we've seen them, and we're going to remember them, and we're united in that we all have our place in eternity, in the eternal realm. We all have our place, and we know one another. We know one another in the eternal realm. It's not like, oh, how should I say this? It's not that I toiled and toiled with the book. It was more, it's carrying the secret of it, knowing that this happened and knowing the truth of myself, and then not being able to be that in the world that I live in. And so many of us are in that position where we might have a higher knowing or a higher understanding of who it is that we are in that eternal realm, but also for fear of, judgment, or people being mean to you or laughing at you. You've withheld being who you are. But the time of revelation and the unveiling is upon us. So this process of more and more individuals coming forward and saying, this is who I really am in history. This is who I've been in history. And who you've been in history will also be revealed to you. And you'll get little puzzle pieces. And the people who were in your past lives that are here to help you awaken, when you receive the higher consciousness, they're going to all be around you, so you'll be able to trust them, and you'll be able to pick up the puzzle pieces pretty quickly, because they're going to say, don't you remember who you are? We remember you. And so some people are going to be quicker to remember who everybody is, who others are, than other people, but it'll be eventually, we'll all waken up to it. So it's a process now of awakening up into our new world and our new realm. And there's so many things that I don't know about what's going to happen, but I can share with you that it's going to be exciting. And the first thing for me is the affirmation of someone can live in one dimension and surrender their body and move to another dimension, and then when timelines come together, choose a body and come back to participate in this process. That's the descension, descending down into the materialistic form. Instead of being all light body, we take on a body. And so being in a body, then that light form can shine and can come through. It makes it easier because I'm starting to allow in that you too, you're in a galactic being, Sandra. You too, if you're from the same monad as Dave, we have to figure out what monad that's from, what planet, and without a doubt, and be in agreement of it. But the fact that we're here on a mission to do something of such great magnitude, and one thing I'd like to speak to the spiritual community is when you decide to censor who can comment on your page or who is allowed to publish videos or not, you're playing God, because you don't know at this point how many other galactic beings are reaching out to commune with you. How many people are actually galactic beings trying to share their information with you. And when you make it about ego, it's who you are in the public forum and who I want to be, and look at me, I've got this show and all these people talk to me and I'm so wonderful that I'm coming out living my truth. Well, understand it, like whatever truth that you're coming to live out, you back it up with your actions. So if you really get that we're all one, Don't censor anything. Don't approve anything. Approve all things. Because they come for a reason. It's there for a reason. Say yes. Say yes. Don't make the judgment. You know who's good enough and who's not, who's lying and who's not. Don't make that judgment, because people are coming forward and they might not be your people. They might not be for you. You might not be able to hear them. So we want to acknowledge that those that are coming forward now are revealing more and more of themselves. They're the light beings, and they're saying, we're here and we're watching over and we're giving guidance. And that's what we're here to do. Like, part of the reason I am also commenting tonight with this video is because I heard in one of the talks today that the girl was, the tarot card reader was confessing that a lot of people don't even know what it means when they're saying, you have to do your inner work. A lot of people don't know what that is, or even how to begin to do their inner work. And when I heard that, it made me like compassionate to the point where I'm going, all right, if you want to start your inner work and you want to know where to begin, start paying attention to how you feel. Start getting out of your mind and get into your body, and you do that with your breath. And you do that with your... just allowing yourself to feel inside your body. Feel inside yourself. Breathe in. And I'm feeling inside myself. I'm aware of inside my head. And I'm aware of my chest. And then wiggle your toes and be aware of your toes on the floor. It's what we're searching for is to stop the thought river. The breath brings you into the now, and when you concentrate on breathing in and lifting up your ribcage and pushing out your tummy, what happens is your thought river slows and you're able to start to feel your body. And that's how you start your journey, is getting out of your head and into your body, because your body is your inner child. Your body is the inner child carries the pain from the childhood. And so you're wanting your little child to tell you what pain they suffered as a child. What pain are you carrying when people weren't nice to you or hurt you? You carry that pain, you carry that anger when you were hurt and what people did bad things to you. And then you learn to create a personality to cover up the pain you're feeling. You learn to act in a certain way to fit in, or to stop the abuse, or to conform. So it's a death of the self. It's a sacrifice of the self in order to fit and conform into the family's beliefs and patterns, their belief systems, and what they say. You believe this and you do this. Well, if you're here to break the mold and to upset the apple cart, it's like, no, I'm not going to conform. I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. I'm going to do what I feel. I'm going to do what I'm guided to do. And I'm going to start knowing that by getting in touch with myself. It starts with yourself. It starts with you feeling yourself and being honest about it. When someone says, hey, do you want to go do this? You gotta, before I'd make myself go just to get along, but now I'm going to look after myself and say, no, I'm being guided. I'm supposed to stay here. I think something's going to happen for me here, or I'm feeling I might want to meditate or read. Like, find your own inner voice that guides you to what it is you're meant to do. And that's what you want to start listening to. That becomes your compass. That's your God voice. And that's how you begin, is find your God voice. But most of the time it's slowing down. If not every time, it's slowing down your thought river, breathing in, bringing your awareness inside of yourself, paying attention to how you feel, and calming your thoughts. Calm down your mind. Watch what you're thinking. If there's more negative thoughts coming into your mind than positive, It's signaling you're in a low vibration still. Lift your frequency. Start thinking better thoughts. Start seeing things from a higher perspective. Eat some fruit. Pull yourself up out of these lower dimensional thoughts and into the thought vibrational field of truth and love, where you're able to hear truth when it's presented to you. You're not guessing, you move into the knowing of it. And the other thing about forgiveness is a process. You don't just wake up and say, oh, I forgive myself for all the things I've done wrong. And I forgive my mom, and I forgive her. I just forgive everyone, so I'm just going to let that go. You can say it, but if you're still hanging on to it, you won't be able to lie about it because it'll be nagging at you. It'll be bugging you. It'll be bugging you. It'll still hurt. It'll still hurt. So if it's still hurting you to think of anything in your past, it's saying you're still carrying that hurt. You haven't let it go, and you haven't forgiven. The best thing to do is, hit the bag, get your anger out, get all the toxins out, get all the anger. Like I used to take a baseball bat and hit a punching bag and just put the rap music on. It makes you angry, and then you start hitting and swearing and yelling, and just put the person's face you're mad at on the bag and just start yelling and screaming at them, and get all the hurt and pain that you've held against them or for them out of yourself. Say it. And as you're hitting and you're using every swear word you can think of and getting all your anger out, at one point the energy of anger will leave, and then you'll start crying, and the energy of release will come, and you'll release that pain that you've been carrying. And once you can release the hurt and the pain by yelling it out, hitting it out in a safe environment, so you're not dumping your anger, fear, or hurt on anybody in your family or any of your friends. You're dealing with it right on and taking responsibility for your anger, and go to a safe place and let it go. And just kick and scream and shout and yell. And once it's out, you will cry, you'll feel relief. And after that point, there's something in you that says, I can't hit the bag anymore. I can't keep this being angry up anymore. I've got to let it go. It's taking all my energy to still remind myself of how much I hate this person, or how much, or why this happened, why I'm not friends, or why my childhood was the way it is. It's coming to the thought where you receive awareness that you're making the judgment it shouldn't have happened the way it did, but the truth is it happened exactly the way it had to happen and was meant to happen. You're just arguing with it. You can't believe it was that bad. You should have had a perfect childhood. You should have had a perfect upbringing. You should have perfect thoughts. You should be right. Everything should be easy. It's allowing yourself to know, oh, you mean it was meant to happen that way? Oh, so I had to suffer through those things. So it would help me move into awareness and compassion for the job I had to do later on in life. Yes. Get your bad karma out and over when you first get here. And then when you've been the black sheep, when you've been the family one that they all think is a weird and strange, but you're the one that speaks the truth, the nonconformist. It's your job. It was your job to speak the truth. It was your job to be the rebel. So now, when it moves into forgiveness, can I forgive them? They played a role too. You played a role too. You were both engaged in a play. You're all engaged in a play. And no, it wasn't very nice what happened to you. It sucked. It was awful. No one should have to endure it. But it did happen, and you did endure it. Why is that? Why did that have to happen to you? Why couldn't it have happened to somebody else? Well, this lifetime, your journey wasn't meant to be anybody else's other than yours. So don't judge it that it was bad and it shouldn't have happened. It happened exactly the way it was meant to. And now if you can catch up to now, if you can catch up to the now in your thoughts by telling yourself, so everything up into this moment, November 11/11/2022, up until this now moment, everything was meant to happen exactly the way it happened. Even though all those awful things happened to me. Yes. Oh, so I didn't get it wrong. God didn't get it wrong. It was supposed to happen this way. It was supposed to happen the way it did. Your life wasn't a mistake. The choices you made were your own, but you chose them to learn your lessons. You chose them to become who you are in this now moment. Because in this now moment is when we can all move forward as the one. You had to equip yourself with compassion. You had to equip yourself with self-forgiveness in order to move forward. So you could practice that among your fellow men. It starts with you. Doing your inner work is coming into acceptance that we're leaving that hurt and that pain and that 3D world behind. And those thoughts and those memories and that pain has no place in 5D. So the longer you hold on to them, the more you resist letting go of your anger, the more you refuse to tell the truth about how you really feel about things, the more you hide your past, the more secretive you are, and you conceal your wickedness or your dirty deeds in yourself. They're all seen anyway. You think you're hiding them? Everybody will know them. We all have them. And we're being watched and listened to by those individuals who know and see everything we do. So all the shameful things you do, all the good things you do are seen. And that is a great way to level the playing field, because it says stop pretending. Stop pretending you're okay when you're not. Stop lying. Your vibration's so low. I know you're lying. You can't fool me. There's no place for that in 5D and heavenly realms. There's no place for lying, cheating, hurting one another. There's no place for one-upmanship. There's no place for ego. There's only that place for those who are willing to see that everyone plays a part and has a purpose in your life in this now moment, and everyone's here according to God's plan, and this is going to happen. This is going to happen. When you learn to forgive, it's a process of forgiveness, and the process comes along through the realization as you begin to let go of the anger, the hurt, and the pain. Oh, it was supposed to come. It was supposed to be like this. And it doesn't mean you have to excuse bad behavior or love and forgive your abuser if you're not feeling it. If you're not feeling it, if it's not within you, don't force yourself. Forgiveness comes as a gift. It's like you're sitting in your garden one day and all of a sudden the energy of forgiveness comes and you can let it go. So don't force forgiveness on yourself. Don't force yourself to forgive others. You just come to that realization that they were acting out and being who they had to be in your play, in your drama. And they played an important part. Can you change what happened? Can you fix them? Are you to remain in relationships with them down the road? How do they make you feel? And as soon as you say, I don't like being around this person, they make me feel bad, then don't be around them. No one's there looking at you saying, oh, you're a bad son or daughter, because you wouldn't put up with it anymore. You wouldn't play the game. You were so tired of playing the game and putting on that false personality in order to fit in that you just became an adult and said, I'm not doing it. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to sit home and read a book. I'm going to watch a favorite show. I'm going to do something for me. I'm not going to please others. I'm not going to worry what their thoughts are of me. But higher than that, the question you can ask is really, God, do you need me to be there? I'll go. But you need my energy. And if you're feeling, no, they don't need your energy there, then you don't have to go. You don't have to do it. You don't have to be working in an environment that you get up every day and you hate it. And you're putting on a facade how much you hate it. imagine the energy you bring of hate you bring in, and how difficult it is for others to work in that energy, but how you can be in a room full of coyotes and you're all howling and want to be part of the pack. Sometimes it's difficult to stand on your own and be a leader or walk away from the pack because you're fearing being alone. And you know what? It's kind of nice being alone sometimes. It really is good to just sit and be peaceful. And then you're not in the drama. You're not arguing with people. You're not trying to learn anything for the moment. You're not concerned what people think of you. You're just sitting in the peacefulness and you're just enjoying your company and reminding yourself that everything's okay, that you're doing a good job, and that those people that you're needing to hear from will come into your life, that you're guided from moment to moment, person to person, thought to thought, that you're always protected. We're here to do some miracles right now, and you're going to start seeing them. You're going to start seeing more and more miracles, because miracles leave us with a sense of wonderment and awe at things we can't explain. And then when you are witnessing things you can't explain, it gives you hope that other things could happen that we can't explain. Other good outcomes to problems could appear suddenly, and everything's okay. That possibility of living in that mindset, that thought world, where, oh, this is happening, but I bet you there's a good reason for it. I bet you good things are going to come from this. Yes, I bet you good things are going to come from this. Don't take things personally. If you're rejected off a channel, they just can't hear you on that channel. Or you're a threat. Your level of vibration and truth is a threat, so they'll take you out and don't want you commenting or posting. You'll find yourself exactly where you need to be, where spirit and energy have put you. And that's okay. That's okay. Don't take a rejection personally. Oh, I'm not meant to be here. Thanks for shutting that door and I don't spend any more time there. Thanks for the realization about this person. I was thinking this and wanting it to be this, but then I saw, it really wasn't what I wanted it to be. But that's okay. Just see it for what it is. Now you won't get hurt or set yourself up. Right? At the beginning, it said I was making this for myself, and I really had to self-love today and make this video for Sandra today, because universe used me yesterday and today to release that book, that account of my time spent with Christ on earth, and it's going to give hope for people. It's going to give hope to people. It's going to present a different way of looking at the story, and it will challenge you, and it will plant a seed in you. It will cause you to think and go outside the box. Because what it says is that there's so many different things going on in so many different kingdoms and so many worlds. And people are living lives and they're not following the rules. They're stepping outside the box and they're not doing what they're told. And they're off on adventures. And they're not believing the 3D drama anymore. They decided they've had enough. And they'll have none of it. They'll have no more of the 3D drama. They're moving forward into their higher dimensional selves. And it's just an easier way of living. There's no arguments. You just, if someone says they can't go, you go, oh, okay. And then you think, well, maybe God needs them over here. So you're not blaming, shaming, or making it someone else's fault. You're simply allowing people to be who they are. And you're going by your guidance and you're saying, I'm feeling I'm to do this. Or, I'm not feeling good when you tell me that. It's speaking your truth about how it is you feel, because you own your feelings. No one can tell you how to feel. So when you say this is how you're feeling, that's a statement of your truth. And stand behind it. Don't be swayed from it. Stand for your truth. Create that foundation of standing for your truth within yourself and build a strong foundation of who you are. And that is the first step to doing your inner work. I hope I gave you some good tips there, because I'm passionate about helping people begin their journey, helping people be given the information they're needing to, but having no time for those who are choosing to, from an ego standpoint, increase their presence on YouTube and Facebook and all the other channels, if they're wanting to be seen and known. And it's for their ego, not because they're in that guidance of this is where I'm needing to be. And this is what I'm needing to do. And you can feel some sincerity. You can feel it from them. And you can feel when someone's really trying to learn or not. And a lot of people don't want to appear stupid when they're hearing all this new information about our history and all. Absorb what you can as it comes to you. You'll get it. It'll be made known, and you'll get our history. It's like going back to school and learning. You're having to learn our galactic history, and you're also having to learn the language of the spirit and using different ways of communicating in different language when you're in the higher dimensions in order to convey truth in a way that you're not arguing with it. There's no argument when truth is spoken. It's just an acceptance. Oh, okay. And that's another thing I just was feeling so strongly to mention, and I've had this on my board. You can see it over behind me. Got love at the bottom, but it's the Christ mind. And it says, the one mind of Christ is when you're in agreement. Stop arguing with what is. The one mind of Christ is when you're in an agreement. So coming into the Christ mind means you surrender the will of what you think or want to make something to be and just see it for what it is, and then you stop arguing with it and you just go along with it. Oh, okay, I'm in agreement with what's going on. This is what's happening, okay. All right, so it's not a struggle for you to be led. It's easy for you to be led because you're being led by God. You're being led by truth. And you don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to go down any more potholes or fall off any more cliffs or go down any, no exit roads. You're just constantly guided to the best place you need to be at the best time, and meet with the best people and have the best adventures. Right? That's what we want to do, is have great adventures. And the story outlined in Mr. and Mrs. Jesus is the greatest adventure I've ever been on, because it was an adventure into the supernatural. I was suspended. I was in a state of nirvana, suspended beyond the veil for a year. And it's being in that state of suspension beyond the veil and then coming back and saying, hey, I went beyond the veil and this is what I found. This is what I discovered. This is what's there. And it's really what I discovered about myself and who I am. But it's noteworthy in that it involved around a pretty important person in history, the Christ, Joshua ben Joseph. It had to do with him. And so I think it's noteworthy. I think I should share it because it's not just a normal, everyday person. It's a miracle. The whole story is a miracle. And it's coming in, and down the road, it will be heard and seen as a truth, and we can embrace it. But you're just receiving the introduction to it. It's being made available to you, just like our galactic history is. This story, this miraculous story, is also being made available to you now. And glory be to God, because it's God's plan to release it. I was just waiting for him to use me to make it happen, to work through me to bring this story about. Now let's watch what he does with it. Let's watch where it goes. Let's watch what truths are able to be heard and received from the messages that lay wherein. Let us be guided by the frequencies that we're going to receive when we read it. Yes, there's lots of great frequencies in the book. I'm excited because I want to see how people react to it. And I'm expecting it's going to be really positive and controversial. But isn't that fun? Isn't that what makes a great adventure? And if this wakes them up, wakes people up, helps to contribute to wake up people and raise their consciousness so they can become one in the Christ mind, then this is a tool God's using to do that. So I'm embracing it, I'm trusting in it, and I know whatever adventure it takes me on, it's just starting. It's just starting. We launched a truth bomb today, and there's going to be a reverberation of boom, of it'll ripple out. It'll ripple out. I do love watching God work, because you just, when you think you've got it figured out, you don't. And something else happens something so amazing happens that you didn't even count on it, Well, it's a big day. It's a day I'll always remember. Like the day you put your neck out there, right? The day you allowed yourself to become transparent in the hopes it will better mankind. I guess it's all one person can do, is to tell the truth. And the truth itself carries a vibrational energy and a ripple effect, doesn't it? All right, well, I just had to say, way to go, Sand. Looks like things are on their way now, and good job, following God's orders and following what you are guided to do. And it takes courage, and it takes a faith and a trust that you'll be always kept safe, even though the truth that you're saying goes against what people have believed for so long. But they too need to wake up to this truth, and they will when they're ready. And they will when they're ready. So let's just watch it unfold. No fear, no doubt, no worry. I am safe, I am protected, I am guided, I am on a great journey, and I am in the process of having a reunion with the twin flame, with the whole soul. And how miraculous is that? It's a miracle. Okay, thank you.